Right, how's it going? Back in my little shed again, and this time I'm going to be repairing or retrofitting some bits to the brave little under here. This time it's my own vandalism that's that needs fixing on this time. About 5 or 6 years ago, I had a little go at making my own version of the internal throttle that you see advertised on the internet and I don't know, Zodiac catalogue or whatever. Fairly simple ideas, only about 6 bits need making. I thought I can do that. So I made it, it's been fine up until now. A few weeks ago, I had a little, I don't know, 200 or 300 mile ride down south. About 200 miles into the journey, I was just coming up on that day of London. And I noticed I couldn't slow down anymore. I was stuck at like 65 mile an hour. Traffic was moving, so it wasn't really a drama. I had plenty of time to think about what to do about it, so I did the right thing and carried on for about another 40 miles, just weaving in and out the traffic like that. And eventually I had to pull off at services and sacrificed a bit of clutch wear and smoked out the brakes. We managed to get the thing into the lorry park and, you know, stop it at 60 mile an hour basically, and jury rig it because something in the mechanism had jammed up. So we're not having that again. It's just dangerous. It was probably a daft idea to make it in the first place. I won't be doing it again. So I've got a box of bits here. I've bought a load of new stuff and I'm going to convert it back to a conventional push-pull cable as Mr. Honda intended in 1975, so that when you roll the throttle back, the return cable pulls the throttle shut and it gives you a second chance and not ended up in a situation like I did where you just stuck on cruise control at 65 without any of the other motorists around you knowing about the nightmare that's sitting next to them. So I'll reposition the camera, I'll show you the bits I've got, and I'll show you how I go about making a set of cables for these. I'm going to have to cannibalise some of the old cable because I need some adjusters out of it. The rest of it I'm going to be using some Harley parts I've ordered off internet or whatever. Now give us a minute, I'll re-rig the camera over here on the old fridge. I'll show you the bits I've made and the bits I've bought and how I'm going to try and make it all fit together. Hopefully I'll just get it done in one evening because I'd like to go for a little camping trip this weekend and I want to go on this one. So give me a minute, I'll set it up. Now, in the interest of showing you what I did, which has gone wrong somewhere along the way, I made this piece. I chopped the end of the bar off and I made this piece which has a little shuttle in it and a twist grip which I've got down here, which inside the twist grip there's another fitting. You probably can't see it, but try my best to show it, but there's a scroll in there that fits on there like that, and as you turn it back the scroll moves this little shuttle piston up and down that channel. There's a pin and a bearing that goes in that slot there. I've already lost them, so that'll guarantee that this contraption's never going back together again. The other problem I did when I made it, I actually plug welded it into the bar, both sides. So rather than go and get another set of handlebars, I've made a filler piece to make up the piece of the handlebar that I've cut off, so all that junk can stay in there. I've made this guy, which I don't know if you can see that. It's got a little step in there, step both sides. I made that last night in the lathe, preempting this job. That slides on the end there, and then the plug that used to hold the throttle on will then screw back in that, and we'll get the Allen key. So about moving the camera around. That goes on there tight there now, so that makes up the missing piece of the handlebar. that basically explains to you my warts and all disaster that I created. Yeah, okay, it was fine for a couple of years. We did a lot of miles. We went Ireland, Germany, Holland, Belgium, all over the place with it like that, and it was fine. But now that it's jammed, whatever's happened, I'm not going to risk it anymore. Especially if I've got my missus on the back or something. You know, we don't want any disasters. So I'll show you the other bits I bought, and I'm hopefully going to try and make this lot fit together, because it's going to be a mixture of Honda and Harley Davidson parts. So, you know, there's a certain amount of Heath Robinson in there, but hopefully it'll be safer than what I had before. Now, as I can't see what you're seeing through the phone lens, I'm hoping this is all clear enough. You might not be able to see me, but I want you to see the bits I've got. This is a generic 1-inch bar Harley throttle. Very common fitting from 70s, 80s, maybe later. The cable kit I bought is, again, it's a Venel product. Standard fittings into that throttle for Harley Davidson, and the outers come with the carb ends of the Harley cables crimped on. Obviously, this being a Honda, that's not going to apply to us, so we're going to modify these to, instead of going into the carb end, I'm going to put them in the twist grip end. As you can see, that's just a tiny bit too long there, and also it's a little bit slack, so I'm going to put my own ferrules on the end of there. The other end that goes into the carb, we're going to have a couple of these fitting same as stock, same as two of them, same as stock Honda, just a couple of 6mm adjusters, which if I get me snips, I'll just chop this nipple off here, because we won't be needing this cable anymore, and I want to rip it all out. That's the stock Honda adjuster. I've got another one already screwed onto the carb there. So that was the thing I was able to undo, which enabled me to slow down enough and take enough of the tight out the cable so it wouldn't fit. With this kit, you get a bunch of rubbers. You see I've already put one on there. I'll get the second one on there later on. That's just a bit of weatherproofing, and as I normally go out in the rain, that'll probably be wise to get that glued on. These are going to be too long because it's a universal cable kit, so I'll separate these out and modify them so that I can make them fit that throttle end. As I say, I want these two just a little bit shorter, so they need about 3mm taken out to go in the end of there. I'll just get my little grinder and set that up and get that chopped first so we can measure these. Then I'll start soldering, cutting the inners to length and soldering some new nipples on. And as well as just get my grinder. Okay, so fast forward a little bit. I've fitted the twist grip onto the handlebar. There's no pegging facility on this twist grip, so what I'm probably going to do after I finish the job is just slide it back, put a little blob of stainless weld on there, file a little groove in it, just so it can't, if I really try, I can move that. So I'll just make it better. I fitted both the rubbers, and that's the pulling section of the cable, partly located in there. The other one I've shortened there, and I've added this little ferrule to it, so when it goes into the fitting on there, it doesn't rattle around anymore. It's a nice neat fit, same as the other one. I don't know why they made it different sizes, probably so you can't mix up the cables on a stock bike, but this doesn't matter. No, we just have to make it have it with this stuff. So I've loosely put the the pull cable into position there. And just down here, I'll just move you down. When that focuses on the carbs there, I've got these two adjusters that I've chopped out of one out the old cable and one out of another cable I had lying round. And as you can see there, that's about how long we've got to take that off now. That run that's got going up through the yoke there, that's a nice smooth line. That's as good as it gets. And it seems to be laying there naturally. Without any hang-ups or anything like that. I will be able to secure it there, probably to these HT leads or the coil brackets or something, just to make it a little bit neater, and it gives that top run a nice smooth slide there. So I'll just get my little magic marker here. What is it? It's a paint pen. Right, where that goes in, let's put a little blob there. That's where I'm going to cut that outer cable. Right. At this point, I'll grab a bit of this electrical shrink wrap. I'll cut a couple of little sort of 50mm strips off. The same. Okay. Because I don't want to forget to put these on later, because that's going to add a little bit of weatherproofing. Probably don't believe me, but I actually do ride this bike in a lot of bad weather. For some reason, it seems to be the bike that when you take it out, see, look at that, that's going to make a nice cover on that. Just don't want to forget to have that on there. So just idiot check the bars turn. Hopefully that will stay in there and won't fall out. The bars can go lock to lock without that cable getting tangled up or pulling or anything, so we can pretty much just go ahead and start making the other inner section now. So again, these come part finished. They come with those little ball nipples on there that you slide the vinyl, don't know where they are now, but the little barrel nipples that hook over there. I don't like them, so it's probably fine for the Harley. Maybe it's something to do with, you know, access. Harley that. I don't like them, so we'll just have both of them off. I'm going to solder a couple of standard 6mm barrel nipples onto both of these. And a little tail to play with. Let's see what that looks like. This is me little solder pot. It's pre-filled with some silver solder. So we'll boil that up, and we'll get our little baker's soldering fluid and have that ready. I'll set the camera up closer so you can see it. And there, that's okay. Okay, I hope you can still see me all right. Now then, I've got these little 1/4 or 6mm brass nipples here. So we take our cable that we just coiled up there, The end we just chopped off that Harley fitting and carefully, by thread and needle, we get a bit of get that nipple through there, and we just smoosh out the end of it, make like a little rosebud thing. It's really good at stabbing your fingers and stuff. Don't worry if you start leaking a little bit. It's like old Hondas, you know. Right, you pull the nipple through just so the little rosebud there have flared out. Threads stick in there. Fun bit now, we get some fire. We'll give the solder a little boil. All that is a bit of stainless bar with the end of a handlebar, possibly even the handlebar off this, welded on the end and then filled with the solder. That's all molten now, so I'll just give this up. Not quite taken. Okay, that's got that one. Just needs a little file up. That's on there, good. The end's still flexible, so we haven't overbaked it. Okay with that. And now to try and thread it all through this guy. And that's outside. Okay. Right, so I'll just bring you over here and show you where we're up to now. So, if I can see that, there's the adjuster there. There's our new cable going in. As it goes through the bar there, around the headstock and terminates just there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that off just a tiny bit past where the nipple will be. So that'll give me about an extra 5 or 6 mil adjustment. All the adjusters are wound all the way home at the minute, so we can only go out from there. Cables stretch, they don't go slack, they don't go tighter, they only ever stretch. So we can add a little bit into that without any worries about it stretching too much. You know, over its lifetime it will move a little bit more. Also, I've wound the throttle stop all the way off, so that's removed some of the adjustments out of it already, and we can put that back in on the nuts and bolts. See if I can grab hold of this and cut that at the same time. No, obviously not, but we have marked it, so we can pull that off and get that done properly. Okay, there's our little mark there. Okay, so that's the throttle cable off the bike. I've got the twist grip safe in a box under there. There's my adjuster going on. And then we need one of these little balance fellas. That's straight on there. Smoosh up the ends again. Flare it out so it makes like a rose type shape. And the solder melts all around it. It kind of like locks it all together. Throttle cables are way easier than brake cables. What's softer. Nice. Let's get that on the old righty. Let's give this a warm up. Okay. Nice. Get this fella back on, and then we'll measure up the return cable. That already feels better than the thing I had on there before. That already feels better than that thing I had on there before. Way smoother, way lighter, just all around better. Now then, where is the other half? Same again. Send it around the same route, exactly the same way. In fact, for the sake of a bit of neatness, I might actually tie them together. down here and just tie these two with a couple of points, and they should both come out looking neat. I know it's not a very neat bike, but let's just try and the bits we fix make good. I'll show you what I'm thinking. So we got that tied together. There's where I've taped them together there, and that's, if my hand isn't in the way, that's roughly where we want that going into that adjuster there. So if I get that cable and just shove it down between the inlet manifolds, that puts us right where we want to be. So I'll get the paint pen again. So that's kind of sat there. That's a smooth run. Okay. Right, we'll leave it all taped together, and we'll just try and pull it off in a wanna. Actually easier than a stock bike, to be fair. Okay. Start the way for a minute. Get this fella that we chopped before. Just the nipples on it. Now, the thing you don't want to forget at the end is this adjuster. That's tight on there for now. I'll make sure to take that off before we solder the thing up completely. I've got to measure this outer first. Okay, so we want inside that, outside of that, inside of that. Okay, so I'm trying as best to show you this. So there's the twist grip on there. There they are, both opening. You can see that the tension on that close. That means I will never end up in the situation I was before, where I couldn't shut the throttle down. So other than putting a bit of shrink wrap around the ends there, gluing these rubbers on, so I'll classify that as repaired now. I'm happy with that. It's a much better throttle action than what I had before with the internal thing. Too complicated. I don't even know why I did that in the first place. Daft idea, but yeah. So I've got to glue a grip back on that. Good tip for glue grips on. Forget about all the glues that you see, you know, grip glue and all everything else. Just soak them in a bit of petrol and volley them on. Works every time. It just melts them on, and they're on for good. You've got to cut them off, but you know, bit of a tip there. So again, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing in here, throw us a little subscription there, and I'll keep on putting videos up as I think of things to fix. Mostly just on my own bike. So I said, won't be the last time you see this fella, because 50-year-old motorbike needs fixing on quite a bit, and it does miles. So yeah, if there's anything you want to see on it, give us a shout, throw us a message. Thanks very much. See you again.